God has given me such an interesting life. I've worked with some of God's greatest leaders, pastors, college presidents, elected officials, musical leaders, financial leaders, business leaders of every sort. And I've just been taking note and observing some things, and I've actually made a few notes here that I want to share with you that I have discovered by observation of some of the greatest leaders that I've ever met. Number one on my little list today, number one, the best leaders aim to be leaders of the team, not dictators. If you micromanage your team, your staff, your labor force, if you micromanage them, often it has a diminishing return to it. And so I'm encouraging you to assign tasks, let your staff dream. You want dreamers that have vision and want to accomplish things. You want MIH people. MIH, what is that? Make it happen. I've seen businesses flourish because they gained a second tier level of workers and leaders that were just tremendous. Maybe they would not have been great at the very top of the organization, but in the number 2 and number 3 seats, they were fantastic. And one reason they were fantastic is because whoever was right on the top was not a dictator. Oh, they were the leader, and they had the big vision, but they allowed their team to flourish, and they did not micromanage everything that the team did. So that's number one. Number two, I found that the greatest leaders, they actually have confidence in their team. Now, to have confidence in the team, that means you have to make the right hires. You have to acquire the right staff, the right kind of people. And many of these leaders have hired people on probation, and maybe they didn't have a lot of confidence in their staff during the probation period. But after they had proven themselves during that probation period and got a permanent job on the staff, most of the leaders exhibited confidence and faith in their team. And the team sensed that and would go forward in a greater way. Next, the greatest leaders I know do not intimidate their team. When you just go around intimidating and you're in a foul mood at all times and you don't live on the victory side, you are always pessimistic about everything and doubtful and insecure yourself as the top leader, well, it has repercussions. And intimidating the staff, that usually does not work. Oh, out of fear, they may follow you for a while, but real loyalty and the greatest achievers, they don't like to be bullied. They don't like to be intimidated. They need to be shown mutual respect and mutual love. So that's another tip for the number one leader of a group. Here's another tip. Give your staff and your team clear instructions. Let them know what your expectations are and a way to hit some mileposts and make their aim toward the expected goal. Have some goals and some aims and some objectives, and tell the staff, this is what I want. This is what will be best for our company. This is what will be best for our organization. This is what will be best for our church if we will actually achieve this. And be able to articulate what this is. I've seen some leaders that they wanted something, but they couldn't articulate what it was. They could articulate perhaps at least what it wasn't. That's helpful. At times I've asked some leaders, well, if you can't tell me exactly what you want, can you tell me what you do not want? That'll help eliminate some things. And sometimes, now let's not be too rough on the number one leader. sometimes it's kind of hard. It's rather hard, rather difficult to put into words exactly what you're wanting. And you have to work at it for a while before you're able to fully communicate what it is you're trying to achieve. Now, it's best to have staff meetings, at least weekly times that the staff or the team gets together to evaluate the progress on the short-term goals and the long-term goals. You want to have both of those. Short-term goals. What do we want to see happen this week? What do we hope to happen by next year? What do we hope for in 5 years? What's our 10-year forecast? What are we hoping to achieve? And so weekly team meetings to evaluate and plan and to invigorate, that all helps. Now, there has to be some accountability. Yes, maybe it's a report daily to say, here's what sales were, or this is what we did today. Here was what was accomplished. You know, leaders, they like to stay appraised. They don't like to be surprised that deadlines are going to be missed. No, if you know a deadline is going to be missed, keep your leader appraised. Do not let him be surprised. And don't miss the deadline and still fail to tell the leader, oh, no, that's not a good worker. No. Leaders like to have reports, and when a task has been assigned, they want to know that it was accomplished. And in this day and time with cell phones and so forth and text messages, text your boss. He wants to see this was done. And leaders, let your folk know that you want them to, here's a little phrase, to report back. Report back to me that that was done. And that will help. And then here's another tip. Leaders, don't be overly negative. I want you to be realistic, but don't just be negative at all times. You know, the future is bright for God's people. Are you a Christian? Have you put your faith in the Lord? Do you know that God is leading you? Are you attempting to do a business that is noble and right? If it is noble and right, then why are you so negative? Don't get down in the doldrums and stay there. No, no, no. Don't be overly negative. And then remember this. Here's my final little tip for this segment. As a leader, you must understand part of what you do is you encourage your staff. You commend your staff. You inspire your staff. You lead your team members. You invigorate. You are a catalyst to invigorate your people to accomplish great things. Well, here's a few little tips that I hope will help both the team leaders and the team members. May God bless.